crazy out here, y'all. Stay focused. Let's go, KD. Take a look around you, you can find your way, babe. Yeah, take a look around you, you can find your way, babe.
Yeah, I ain't talk is talk, and move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change the way. Got things to do, I done pay my dues. But where was you, nigga, where was you? I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe, find your way, babe. I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe, find your way, babe. Hey, you the one that say that, you and me go way back. When this whole thing over, I'ma send my invoice, pay that. You don't wanna say that, you don't want to stay back. I keep my composure, this my kingdom, nigga, stay back. We had a couple of moments, you had a choice, nigga, own it. Your real colors, they showing. I'm real, nigga, I'm focused. When I come around, I'm fly with it. Stay moving, do buy with it. New sound, just vibe with it. Same truth and we die with it. I see it like it's an optical. I never sit on the fence. Nothing to me is impossible. Music of me to the end. Most of the shit is illogical. All the y'all niggas depend on what they pretend. Just think what you had, stop looking at trends. You wearing your house like it's topical.
Clearly now, the pain is gone, the fame is on, and they play my songs. Yeah, it's real. Yeah, it's real.
Yeah, I ain't talk is talk, and move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change the way. Got things to do, I done pay my dues. But where was you, nigga, where was you? I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe, find your way, babe. I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe, find your way, babe. New era, I got y'all. Real game, we pop off, no knockoffs. Open eyes, we watch out. Mobilize, won't cop out. COVID-19 cops out, don't flop now. Open skies, we fly now. New agenda, they try now. Most y'all getting real scared of the headlines, we find out. End game getting real near. If you don't know, you behind now. Behind the times, government hide behind the lines. Most brands trying to monetize. All of us have to stay inside, don't socialize. Talk is talk, and move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change the way. Got things to do, I done pay my dues. But where was you, nigga, where was you? I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe, find your way, babe. I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe, find your way, babe.
It's been a while since I dropped this shit. Swole fam, y'all better run this up. KD, let's go. Yeah.
Aye, East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, global with that gang gang, gang. You know we don't play games, yeah. East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, global with that gang gang, gang. You know we don't play games, yeah. East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, global with that gang gang, gang. You know we don't play games, yeah. East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, global with that gang gang, yeah. You know we don't play games. I'm blessed, I never said I didn't struggle. I finesse, I never said I didn't hustle. These niggas talk so loud, the way I move is subtle. I'm the ocean, but these niggas just a puddle. Ay, oh, I swear I'm delusional. These niggas, they using me. They want my energy, ain't nothing new, this is usual. These figures confusing me. What's gotten into me? They say I'm using their cubicles. Clipping KD like some cuticles. None of this shit is excusable. Don't need a muse when I'm musical. Ay, whoa, I'm tired of saying for truth when nobody's doing it. Yeah. They're controlling the youth, agenda abusing them, nigga. We losing them. Matter of fact, we just abusing them. That's a fact. We try to roll with a ballad act. Fucking low key with a Tesseract. They throwing smoke when they got to that. Get the fuck up out your little bubble. They wanna ask how much it costs, I said it double. Gorilla beer, these niggas only rockin' stubble. The realest nigga make these bitches start to stumble. Aye, East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, global with that gang gang, gang. You know we don't play games, yeah. East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, global with that gang gang, gang. You know we don't play games, yeah. East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, global with that gang gang, gang. You know we don't play games, yeah. East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, global with that gang gang, gang. You know we don't play games. She call me Captain, but I got no cap. I make this money, it comes out on tap. Tryna stay private, but I got them groupies. Owe me in private, but don't get all choosy. Bust out the bubble and in with the newbie. FTLOG on the top with the blue jeans. Y'all got the diamonds and I got the rubies. I got the rubies, I got the rubies. She call me Captain, but I got no cap. I make this money, it comes out on tap. Tryna stay humble, but I get real moody. Try not to stumble, but she a real cutie. Bust out the bubble and in with the newbie. FTLOG on the top with the blue jeans. Y'all got the diamonds and I got the rubies. I got the rubies, I got the rubies.
Swole Normuth.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing, testing, testing. Test, test, test. Testing, testing. Testicles, testing, testicles, testicles. Ooh, welcome everyone to episode 3162 of the Daily Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beercast, broadcast, gangcast, mancast, pimpcast, sleazecast, and slaycast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex. We all flex our biceps. What's going on, beeshes, booshes, busses, hustlers, and yo-hos? It's your boy Papa Swolio back with another episode. And today's episode of the Beastcast is brought to you as powered, is sponsored by Everest and K2 flexing on all you bees.
It's the fucking Catalina wine.
The fucking Catalina wine.
Fam, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. Happy Swole New Year. Let's get a little golf clap. It is 2025, the year of sick fucking gains. 2025 is the year of sick fucking gains. And you all just drop that hashtag in the comments down below, and you can do hashtag the year of SFGs. You could do 2025 SFGs. You'll figure it out, and we'll choose one lucky winner and give that away at the end of today's episode. Thank you so much for being here. BC on YouTube, Happy New Year. Been watching you since 2016. Wow. Thank you so much for the support. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Glad to have you for another year. We're coming up on 9 years for the Daily Swole. 9 years. So what we're going to do is get into a couple introductions, new members to the Swole fam. I want to give a couple shout outs, and then also let's get into a couple more responses. So I asked members yesterday, what was the most impactful thing you accomplished in 2024? And we got a couple more responses, which is going to be great. So we got a few of those, and we got a couple new members. So again, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe, like the show, and make sure you leave a 5-star review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. When we talk about memberships, which we're going to get into some content from the members, again, a couple of those Swole text responses, and then a couple intros from new members. And if you want to join the fam and be a part of it, check out swolenormousx.com. We just launched an app towards the end of last year. I could say last year now. So the Swolenormous app launched about mid-November, late November, I'll say, when we started really publicly promoting it. So it's fresh, it's awesome, and it's revolutionized everything that we do inside Swolenormous X. So start your free trial, go to swolenormousx.com, or go right to the App Store, Google Play, download the Swolenormous app, get started, but we have a lot more information on everything we talk about on the podcast over at swolenormousx.com. So jump on it and then introduce yourself. That being said, let's get into a couple of those introductions. And the first two we have, the first two we have are from the app itself, from the community section. So let's welcome Joanna to the Swole fam.
What's in the box?
Joanna to the Swole fam. Welcome, welcome. Come one, come all. Joanna says, hi all, I'm Joanna. I'm a 37-year-old mom of two. I'm finally joining because I went to the doctor for knee pain thinking I tore my meniscus doing weighted lunges last summer and found out that it's osteoarthritis caused by shit mobility. Not a huge deal, but at my age, this stops today. I'm looking to improve my training plan and leverage the Swolga as a part of the plan to prevent any more damage to that knee or any other joints. I've always been pretty active and gone to the gym, but there is room for improvement with my plan and consistency. Looking forward to learning more about all of that. Take care. Well, welcome officially to the fam, Joanna. Yeah, let's get those joints in order. Swolga's great. The mobility master classes are going to be great for you. So that's what a lot of you will recommend, checking out the knee, the ankle, and the hip mobility master classes. Go to the education section of the Swolenormous app. And welcome. Nutrition is going to be very important, getting collagen up and making sure bone broth will be fantastic. Beef, ground beef, steaks, getting some more collagen in too. All right, so welcome. We'll get into all that, of course. Just joined, so welcome. Pam says, hi all, just joined the app today. Hi, Pam. I'm 55 years old and a mom of two and also a granny of two. Not those grandmas. Wow. That's right. Grandma's working on that cake. I've always been active with hiking and walking, but want to start adding more consistent weight training as I am on and off with it and mobility and yoga, so no more waiting. Well, welcome officially to the fam, Pam. Welcome to the fam, Pam. Fam, Pam. All right, we got another response to most impactful things in your life in 2024. Julia on Swole Text responds and says, one of the things that impacted my life the most in 2024 was marrying my husband. As cheesy as it may sound, my husband is everything. He supports everything I want to try and will even try to come along and support the new hobby or activity that I just picked up to see the excitement it has on my face. With us getting married this year, it brought a lot of much needed change into our lives. Getting married filtered out the toxic people for the both of us. The bit of fresh air getting away and removing toxic people from your life is incredible. There was a moment where it hurt since you would assume those who care wouldn't treat you or act a certain way. It opened our eyes to who we have as we built our future and family together. You have read one of my posts before. It was the one who had the parents that said I should let my sister lift since she likes it and I should stop so she has her own hobby. Oh, I remember that. Parentheses, I can tell you I have some horror stories involving the wedding, but that is certainly for another time. Oh, there's more tea. Oh, 2025 is already turning out to be epic. Julia, I want some more details, part of the fam. All right, we're getting to the bottom of this in 2025. First quarter, Q1, top of the list, Q1. We're getting to the bottom of this. We're getting more tea. There were some other people who we are leaving behind in 2024, and that has left a giant impact for us. We are excited, and we will remove anyone who doesn't fit our life in the manner we desire. We aren't bending our backs for anyone anymore. Wow, great. Welcome. Oh, Pam's on the YouTube. Hello. Welcome to the live stream, Pam. Yeah. Do you guys remember that story? I don't remember all the other details. Maybe we'll have to bring it back up and we can get into it tomorrow. So I guess that's the summary. That's the TLDR, is that her parents or her mom said that she should let her sister lift because she likes it and that she should stop lifting because her sister wants to lift so she could have her own hobby. That's the weirdest, most insane thing I've ever heard. Can you imagine Oh, I'll stop doing that. I love it, but my sister loves it. I'll get my own thing. Your own thing. What are you talking about? Go train together. Go lift. That's insane. That's insane. And the story was even more insane. So, Julia, we want results. I mean, we want answers. We want more tea. Spill it. Spill it. If you guys see Julia in the chat, if Julia's in the chat, drop the deets in the live chat. Let's get into it a little bit more. Oh, we're getting to the bottom of that. Swole Fam's a bunch of bloodhounds. We'll figure that out. Katie says, I got a new job and got away from toxic people. I love a lot of people getting on that theft train. Got a new job and got away from toxic people. Also, we just bought a mini farm and are going to get chickens and be in nature. The working out is going to start soon. It's been busy, but good changes. Wow, that's fantastic. Good for you. Good for you. Mini farm. Chickens be in nature. I love it. We want to get chickens too. I'm jealous. You got chickens? I'm jealous. No, that's good. That's good. It's inspiration. I'm jealous in a good way. It's like, ooh, I want that too. And I'm going to have it. So I'm looking forward to it. Kylie says the most impactful no. Okay. Yeah, I know, bro. I know. All right, it happens sometimes. Okay? I got some awesome stuck in my throat. Kylie says the most impactful thing I've done this year is cutting people off who didn't add value to my life. That included friends of 7+ years, family, and relationships. It's been a struggle, but the beneficial impact that has had on my life is something I wouldn't trade. Thank you for sharing. It's not always easy, but it's important. Doesn't matter if you share blood or you've known them for a while. Sometimes people are just going to be against the grain, and you've kept them around and you haven't really noticed it. Now you're woken up to their bullshit, and you can't keep that in your life. In other words, that if someone's acting that way and they're not supportive of you, right, then they don't want to be a part of your life. So it's good. It's good. It's a good thing. It's over. Pam says, putting me first instead of always my kids and grandkids, making time to work out for me. And in closing, this is really so important because obviously you're going to love your kids. You want everything for your kids. You want your kids to have an amazing life, even more so than yourself. Grandkids, same thing. But what do we always say, fam? Recovery, you can't pour from an empty cup. If your cup is empty, you can't pour. So you have to take care of yourself. And taking care of yourself is not selfish. And if you want to call it selfish, then cool. Then selfish is a good thing because you need to care about yourself. Some weird stuff in our society that has told people to hate themselves and you don't matter, right? It's that weird ultra leftist crap. It's the woke garbage. You shouldn't have desires. You shouldn't look forward to things. You shouldn't want things. You shouldn't create value and experience life. Capitalism sucks, all this stuff. You got to take care of yourself. And if you take care of yourself, you're a better person to take care of other people. Or you can share that. If you burn yourself out, you're just going to feel miserable and you're going to project that. No one's going to be around you. You're not going to enjoy things. It's just not smart. Cerny says, grandkids know that grandma lifts first. Ooh, I like that. Savage. Let's fucking go. That's awesome. Fuck yeah! All right, let's get into some questions. Let's get into some topics, and we'll get some feedback. What are you guys' thoughts on some of the things that we've covered thus far? There's been a lot of stuff going on, and I don't know all the details. We'll take some questions from Instagram and anyone that's watching live. But have you seen those stories on X about the supposed terror attack in New Orleans? Obviously, that's very unfolding. I don't know the details. I haven't really looked too much into it. I've seen some stuff, but wild stuff. The Tesla truck, very symbolic of Elon Musk, obviously, created it. Exploding outside Trump Hotel in Las Vegas. As far as I'm aware, it was in Las Vegas. Crazy stuff. Not unsurprising. I'm surprised more stuff doesn't happen. And maybe we will. Maybe that's also the year of 2025. Maybe the year of 2025 is going to be the little, I don't want to say surface level, but these little incidents all over 2025 because of all the criminals that we've allowed in our country. Maybe it's going to be just little incidents. It's going to be some truck magically ran over 10, 15 people. A bomb went off here. A restaurant had a gas explosion, or things like that. Actual terrorism where it strikes fear. Some of these things are more brazen, but it's really, you don't know what's going to happen next, and you live in constant fear. Terror. Terrorist. Oh, words have meaning, that kind of stuff. It's so awful, though. So, when your protein shake or a lift, give a rep to those that have, unfortunately, had a terrible start to their new year. It's really sick. Anyway, more questions, just bringing up some things that have been on my mind. I didn't want to bring up all this stuff, and not to be Debbie Downer, but be safe. Be safe. Yeah, bird flu on the rise. Maybe COVID's going to be knocked down the leaderboard. I posted about this. We talked about it. AIDS. First it was AIDS, then COVID. Monkeypox couldn't pull it off, and then maybe bird flu is going to break through. Is bird flu going to break through? Bird flu, not that bad for you. Bird flu. Bird flu, gonna get you. Bird flu, gonna get you. There's going to be some sort of chant, right? There's going to be some sort of bird flu protests. Or now you can't just wear a face diaper. You have to wear a full gas mask like you're in a video game. Okay, let's load up Instagram. We'll get some questions, some responses. Yeah, Rich on YouTube. Sounds more like something for two siblings to bond with. Yeah, that's insane. That's insane. So for those of you that are just joining the stream, what's going on? We're on the podcast episode 3162, The Daily Swole on Rumble, and the Swolenormous channel on YouTube if you want to catch it there, all the sound effects and visuals and stuff too. But we're talking about a story from one of our members in Swolenormous X. One of our members has, I guess, her parents, her mother or father or both, I don't remember the story, wanted her to stop lifting because her sister wanted to lift weights. And they thought it would be good for her for that to be her thing, so she could maybe stop working out and do something else. Like your sibling can have a hobby, but you can't have the same one. Let her have that for herself. The fuck kind of values are you teaching to your kids? You train together. It's just insane. Train together. That's what Rich says. Walton Rich Morgan. Sounds more like something for two siblings to bond with. That doesn't even make any sense. All right. So we'll take some questions. More questions. You got any questions? Drop them in the comments. This is the Q&A portion of the Daily Swole. Happy New Year, everyone. And for those of you on Rumble, Swole card reminder, 2025, the year of sick fucking gains. Indeed, it is.
He's on fire!
Indeed, it is. All right, so Goncalo Amigo. Or Goncalo. Papa Solia, what do you eat on breakfast? I don't eat on breakfast. I eat breakfast. What do I eat for breakfast? Well, usually when I wake up, I'll have a protein shake, grass-fed whey protein, unflavored, and I usually put electrolytes, magnesium. I'll take 1,000 milligrams of magnesium glycinate, put that in there, creatine, sometimes some glutamine, and then I'll drink that. This is after I weigh myself, and I weigh myself just to track performance. I weigh myself to track performance and to track strength and just general body composition. If I'm gaining and I'm getting stronger, if I'm losing pounds, I'm getting stronger, losing water, losing fat, just not as an obsessed metric, but I want to make sure my performance stays up, but I don't want to just put on fat. So I want to minimize any kind of like caloric surplus, really. But then Mama Swolio has been enjoying making some breakfast first thing. So we had today, I think it was 4 eggs. I don't know if I had any steak with it. 4 eggs. I guess we had some bacon. Yeah, 4 eggs and some bacon. Today was a little bit of a blur. We did a bunch of stuff. It was like a late breakfast. Okay, let's see. Pedro on Rumble. Papa Swole, will you turn this podcast around if people don't smash that like button? Oh, much. You know what? On Rumble, you guys got to hit the like button. Everyone hit the like button on Rumble. That's unacceptable. I obviously will turn this podcast around. You've never seen a podcast turn around this fast. Hit that like button. Don't be a chode. Hector Alvarado. Hey fam, is the carnivore diet adequate for a beginner trying to lose weight? You don't want to lose weight, you want to lose fat. So let that be something in 2025. You don't want to try to lose weight, you want to lose fat. So if you are skinny fat, you need to be building muscle. If you are wider than you are tall, if you're horizontally challenged, if you're fat, then you should be building muscle. Remember, you don't need to be in a caloric surplus to build muscle. Build muscle. Build muscle. Focus on building muscle. So people that wonder, can you build muscle while you're losing fat? Yes, you can. But you have to make sure that you are able to keep your performance up so you can progressively overload, so you can lay more contractile protein, so you can actually build muscle. If you're in too much of a deficit, you won't be able to. Your body will wig out. Stream's okay? Yeah, we're good. Good on my end, so I think everyone's doing fine. All right, Space Shuttle Door Gunner on YouTube. And by the way, if you're watching on Instagram and you want to check out the podcast, you want to watch on YouTube or Rumble, you want to watch or listen on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, click the link in my bio for the Daily Swole. You can do a search, but you can just click there and you'll see all the links for merch, the podcast, joining Swolenormous X, downloading the app, trying for 7 days, 7-day free trial for the Swolenormous app, and joining the Swole fam. So check it all out. How have you guys liked the releases so far? I responded to a couple comments. I know Cerny, you checked out the new master classes. How you guys enjoying that? Candyman says the gym was, Space Shuttle. You often ask, what are we smashing today? What are you smashing today? I'm about to smash an omelet after this. Mama Swole is going to cook a delicious omelet. Today, I just did some mobility. Today. I did dead hangs. And I did reverse hyper extensions on my reverse hyper. I love those. Great for decompressing the spine, great for the glutes and the posterior chain. I love those. Seriously, if it's great because you can sit around more. Today we kind of sat around Butterfly Garden in the sun, hung out. I just did some general mobility and stretching, but dead hangs, and I did reverse hyper extensions, and I love it. Reverse hypers are great if you sit around a lot, if you drive a lot, or if you are sedentary at work or have to be. Let's see. Ali Ashgar or Asgar. Let's see. Papa Swolio, how many sets for each muscle per week? That depends. But what you really want to make sure you're doing is training more frequently. So it's better to train twice a week for a body part than once a week. So I would say generally 2 to 6 sets a week. And the reason why I say 6, that's a huge difference. That's 3 times the volume as 2. So you really don't need 6, but some people might, because if you're training it once, some body parts you might train less frequently. So maybe you do a couple extra sets and you don't train it as frequently. Some body parts you might want to train more frequently. But bottom line, if you're trying to bring up a body part, you want to train it twice a week, in my opinion, and my experience. And some body parts for you or anyone else, you're going to have your own limit to how many sets psychologically, just your central nervous system, how much you can take, how many you can do, how much volume you can do, and actually still make progress. So if you're progressively overloading, if you're getting stronger, then you're probably doing fine. But what you might want to look into, if you're making progress, cool, you can keep it the same, but you could also try with a little bit less volume. because if you could do the same or get the same results and fatigue yourself less, you'll make even more progress and you'll feel even better. So in other words, if you're getting results doing 1 set twice a week, why double it? Why do 2 sets twice a week? More volume doesn't get you more results. The frequency is the most important thing. And you might not recover from 2 sets fast enough to be able to do it twice in a week. There's certain exercises where I just really can't do it twice a week. I could train my quads twice a week, but doing pendulum squats twice a week is just, it's a lot. It's a lot. So if I'm doing 1 set of pendulum squats, I kind of just want to do 2 because I'm already there. But to do that twice a week, even doing 1 set twice a week, just the overload. So the type of exercise matters too. So again, how many sets per each muscle per week? 2 to 6. And that's a huge range. People might not think that's a lot of range. That's a massive range. That's 3 times the volume. And some body parts might not need to be trained. If you're getting enough development with certain body parts, everyone knows you have maybe a freakish body part. A lot of you know, I got a freakish body part. But you might have a certain body part that grows great. Your shoulders might grow wonderfully when you do incline press. You might not need to do an overhead press or do any kind of focused anterior deltoid work. Maybe you have big triceps and you just get that from doing chest pressing. You don't need to train your triceps often. Remember, you're training body parts for hypertrophy. Your triceps are going to work when you're doing a chest press. But if you have big triceps and you need to work on your biceps and use your energy, focus on your biceps and let your triceps get trained during pressing movements or dips. Remember, you're training muscles for hypertrophy. And if you don't need to hypertrophy them, then don't target them specifically. And for body parts you do want to bring up, train them first in the workout. All right, more questions. Let's see. Turn off the live and go to the fucking gym, you scallywag. Let's see. Max707. Papa Swole, split or full body workouts for beginners? It's a good question. Either or. Full body is great for beginners, and so is an upper lower split. I wouldn't do a push-pull legs. You don't need to. So for beginners, and this is also for advanced. Full body works for advanced. It's just you have to do it a specific way if you want to maximize it. And unless you're doing the same workout 3 times in a week, you're not necessarily going to hit each body part 3 times a week anyway. So you're kind of only hitting each body part twice. So some movements you might not, if you're doing the same exact workout 3 times a week, then those body parts, those movements are getting hit 3 times a week. But if you're doing a different split and body parts are kind of getting hit twice a week, then for me, full body is not as good as just doing an upper lower, which you're getting twice a week anyway. So just do it upper lower instead of full body. It's easier to program. You get to focus a little bit more. So the problem with like the classic approach to training is that people looked at full body as a beginner or upper lower as a beginner type of training. It's not. Those are ideal for advanced. They're ideal for advanced because when you're more advanced with training, when you get stronger, when you're able to overload the body so much, you need less. You don't need to do more volume. You're not going to be able to handle more volume, especially at those loads. So you first start out lifting for the body, you're squatting 25 pounds, 50 pounds. You on a pendulum squat, you put a 10-pound plate on there. You're not really doing much. When you get stronger and you have 5 or 6 plates on, the Smith machine or whatever it is you're doing, 3 on each side, 4 on each side, 2 on each side, it's much more overloading for the body. You can't be doing 4 or 5 sets of that stuff. Now, when we say 1 set or 2 sets for a body part, so like on an upper body workout, I might do 2 sets for chest. Well, that's not a lot. You're only doing 2 sets or 1 set. You only did 1 set. I did 2 or 3 warm-up sets. I did some movements. I'm just preparing my body for that all-out set. I'm just compressing everything into 1 stimulating set, and then I'm recovering, and I'm just training it more frequently. So rather than doing 4 sets in 1 workout, I'll do 2 and 2. Or instead of doing 2 sets in 1, I might do 1 and 1. Or I might adjust depending on how I feel. And you don't have to overthink it too. You don't have to overthink it. A lot of times people overthink it. They overstress. and they micromanage and they wonder, oh my God, I did 3 sets. Now I'm not going to recover. Everyone's different. Some people, look, if you're taking anabolic steroids, you're going to recover faster. That's why a lot of guys just do more volume, but it's not required. A lot of people that do more volume would see better results doing less volume. But when you're taking a lot of these hormones and you're doing other stuff, you're 18 years old, look, you can recover faster from a lot of different things. It doesn't mean it's better. It just, you can get away with a lot more in certain situations. And some people recover faster than others. All right, scrolling back down to the bottom. If I missed your question, which I probably did, ask again and I'll check it out. Let's see, Chris, I'm just going to pin questions I'm covering. Let's see, Chris9388, Fajardo. Or Fajardo. Are you French? Fajardo. That's not a French accent, is it? Starting out rough in 2025. I assume you mentioned this, but when starting out, 80% 1 rep max, 4 to 6 reps or more reps. 80% 1 rep max. When I train, you generally, a good advice is to train within a rep or 2 of failure. The problem is a lot of people can't accurately guess 2 reps in reserve. So I generally train to 0 RIR. I usually do sets until if I did another one, I'd probably fail, or 1 in the tank. Because sometimes I could probably maybe eke out 1 more, but it'd be such an exhausting rep and I'd be fighting through. So usually I do 0 to 1. I don't really go to absolute failure, but sometimes I do, and it's not the end of the world. You think you're going to get the rep and you don't. Okay. As long as you mark it down and know, oh, I did 3 reps. And sometimes if it's really close, I'll be like, if I did 3, I thought I was going to get 5 and I only got 3 or 4, and I almost got that last one, I might just do 4.5. And I know what I mean. I didn't get a full rep, but it's like, I almost got it. So it'll help me going to the next session where I do that. It's like, I almost got that 5th one. This one, I'm not trying to get 6. I'm trying to get at least, I'm really trying to get that 5th one. So, in other words, when you do training, you don't always have, you guys might hear, you have stimulating reps, and the stimulating reps are the ones that are really kind of stretching your boundaries. In other words, getting you into that uncomfortable place. And that's usually around the last 3, 4, 5 repetitions at the end of a set. So the logic behind doing heavier weight and lower repetitions is that if you do a set of 5 reps and you couldn't do another single rep, why do 20 reps and do 15 reps first and do all that work before getting to the reps that are going to make more of a difference? And research shows that if you do, and just in practical application, if you train heavier, you can make more progress even by leaving a rep in the tank when you could do 1 more, because of the mechanical tension, you're getting a lot more out of it. If you do higher reps, you have to train, really much closer and probably including failure. So it's more exhausting to get the same work done. But if you're used to doing, and let me make this clear, if you're doing 20 reps all the time, or you're used to doing 10 to 15, don't just jump to doing 4 reps. Start lowering it gradually. Get your body, get your tendons and ligaments used to it. People that just jump right into I've never trained before, and they start just follow, let's say what I said, and they start doing 5, 6 rep sets. The problem is you don't have the coordination, you don't have the joint integrity, you don't have the ability to train that hard, that heavy, that close to failure with good form. That's why you see people, they're just not there yet. So those people are better off doing 10, 15 reps closer to failure, leaving a little bit in the tank, learning how to do it properly. And then over time, they can start playing around with 10 to 12 reps or 9 reps. And as long as they can maintain form, because if you put a new person, even if they could do this weight for 6 reps, they're going to hurt themselves. They don't have the coordination. They don't have the mobility. They don't have the joint integrity, like a baby deer type of thing. Papa Swole, how do I lose 20 pounds in 20 days? Not safely or healthily or something that you're going to keep off. Lukman Kotwal. Papa Swole, what do you think of Mike Mentzer's workout plan, high intensity and low volume? I think generally it's directionally correct. I don't know about doing 1 set every 3 weeks. Exactly what you're referring to, but in general, what I'm talking about is considered very low volume by a lot of people, but that's just classically. I don't think it's really low volume. I just think we didn't really understand as a culture or as a, from an evidence and from a consensus. Because now when we have the internet, we can share information so much more rapidly, and people can cross check and think about and test. And higher volume works, but so does lower volume. It depends on what you determine as lower volume. So if I say 2 sets for a body part in a workout, a lot of people would be like 2 sets for chest or 2 sets for quads. That's it. For me, that's not even low volume. That would be like an average. For me, doing 3 sets would be higher volume. 1 would be low or lower. 2 would be standard, and 3 would be like, wow, I did an extra set. Let's see how that affects me. Because if I'm doing an extra set, that extra set is not like I got a good little burn, let me put it down. That extra set is everything I got for the same exercise or another exercise. So it takes a lot more out of me. So it has to be a really important reason. And for me, if I'm doing 2 sets for quads, let's just say Monday and then again on Thursday or Friday. For me, it'd be much harder for me to do a set of pendulum squats with to 0 RIR, for example, on Monday, and a set of leg extensions, the same proximity to failure. And then on Tuesday or Thursday, doing pendulum squats again and leg extensions. That's going to be much more fatiguing than just doing 2 pendulum squats on Monday and then 2 pendulums and then 2 leg extensions, like separating them. So the exercise matters, because pendulum squats is so much more exhausting for me than leg extensions. So if I do pendulum squats twice, I could just hit the quads twice in a week and just do the pendulum squats on Monday and then the leg extensions on Thursday or Friday. And then the next time pendulum squats again, and you're still hitting the muscles. You're hitting different parts of the muscle. You're getting the rectus femoris more in the leg extensions, and you could do mobility work in between and different stuff. So you have to think about what exercise you have access to, your experience, your rep range that you prefer. Just understand that if you're doing more reps, then it's going to potentially be, and it will be, more fatiguing. So you can still do 15 rep sets if you want to. You don't have to, as long as people get emotional about it. Well, 5 reps, you have to do 10 to 15 repetitions. Says no one ever. That's not true. If you like to do that, certain body parts you might not want to. Some people like to do preacher curls and do sets of 4 and 5. I've done that. I've done that, but for certain body parts, I prefer maybe 6 to 8. That's still low-ish reps. But 5 to 8 for me is like a really good range. 5 to 8 is usually, I don't usually go 4. Sometimes certain body parts, certain movements, I'll go 4. Usually I aim for 5. And then if I get to 6 reps, I might consider adding a little bit of weight. Or 7 or 8, I'm definitely going to add some weight. But it might be a couple pounds, depending on the movement, just to bring it back down to 5. Derek on YouTube, Papa Swolio. Do the diet plans help with digestion? I have been having really bad stomach pains after I eat. Oof, that's not good. Sounds like you likely have some sort of inflammation or allergies. Do the diet plans, do our nutritional plans? Well, we don't really have necessarily a diet plan, but the Nutrition Jumpstart and the Elimination Diet in the Swolenormous app will walk you through how to customize and individualize your nutrition. So what we do, our approach to nutrition inside Swolenormous X, will absolutely help with digestion if you follow it appropriately. What are you eating? Like, what are you actually eating? Give us an example. Hog Wild says my lower body responds better with higher rep ranges. And like I said, if you're normally doing 15 to 20 repetitions, and then you listen to this podcast and think, oh, I can save a lot of fatigue by doing sets of 5. If you're normally doing 15 to 20, and then you load the bar and whatever hack squat you're doing for a range of 5 reps, you're going to be, you can see imagine how that would be it's such an overload shift. It's too much for a lot of people to shift it that quickly. So like I said, if you're doing 10 to 15 or 15 to 20, just bring it down to 10 to 15 over the course of weeks and try a little bit of heavier weight and a little bit of lower rep range. And if you like it, you can stick to it. You don't have to do 6 reps. You don't have to do sets of 6. You can do sets of 9. You could do, but like I said, it's good for you to have a range. Have a range of what your minimum is. And then once you get to a certain rep, when you would add like a pound more or 2.5 pounds or 5 pounds or 10 pounds, depending on the exercise. When are you loading a little bit more? And then your base can be, so that's what I do. I do 5 to 8. If I get 9 or 10 with something, it's not, oh, I just give up 9 or 10. This is too light. I'll finish it. If I get 11 or 12, holy shit, I can go definitely load more. So that's good. If you misload, for example, and you're aiming for 5 to 8 and you got 11, you're stronger than you thought you were, apparently. Just make sure you mark it down so next time you can, add a little weight. So now you're getting 7 or 8. Or if you like that rep range, do it. It's whatever you see progress with. But if you like that rep range, you're going to have to train closer to failure to get results, and just make sure you're loading properly. You still want to increase the weight at that rep range. So you still want to increase how much you're lifting from 12 to 15 reps. I just think more people would benefit from going heavier, because also when you're going heavier, here's a way to think about it. I think going heavier keeps you more honest, as long as you have good form. And here's what I mean by that. Going heavier, you're going to get closer to that 0 RIR. It's harder to miss. If you're loading, of course, safely, having a spotter or having a machine that you can safely like drop the handles and you're fine. So if you're doing 6 reps, like you get the weight, you're like, okay, I can't do 7. I'm done. Right? Or like you did that 6th rep and you're like, shit. And you're like, there's no way. And then boom, like there's no way I'm getting 7. 0 RIR. There's no way you would have gotten that next rep. The last rep was 0 RIR. If you're doing a weight where you can get 14 or 16, and then at the end, it just gets kind of hard. And it's like, could I have gotten one more? Did I really push it? You're really going to that last, you're just expending a lot more energy. And I feel like you can get more accurate information. But for me, it's still hard to gauge 2 RIR. I really don't play with 2. But what I consider 1 is if I do a rep and I'm like, oh, I could attempt, if I wanted to I could probably get another one. I could attempt another one. If I'm going to attempt another rep and I don't, and I, feel like I have the energy or I would attempt another rep, I don't know exactly if I would have gotten it necessarily, but I usually mark that as 1. Because if psychologically I would have tried another rep, or I put 0 to 1, like I'm not sure if I'd have gotten it, but I could have tried to attempt it, possibly would have gotten it, but I didn't. So it's kind of like, yeah, maybe 1. Just so when I look back at my chart or my book, I know my proximity to failure. So a 0 to 1 would be if I know, I could probably get another rep, then I'll put 1. So all I'm trying to do is look back and see what I did. And, because it's really about your perceived effort. Do you have 1 more? Oh, I could do 1 more. Cool. Rack it. You have 1 in the tank or so, but maybe you had 2 and then you really got 3 simulating reps instead of 4, but it's not that big of a deal. What you want are the reps and the weight to go up. If the reps and the weight are going up over time, you're doing it right. You're able to progressively overload. Good for you. Derek says, I don't eat good at all. Yeah. I want to give you a Matt Damon, but I want to get some information. So you have bad stomach pains after you eat and you're telling us you don't eat good at all. Well, I gather that if you're eating, and remember, eating good is eating right for you. So what does that mean? In other words, you eat shit all the time and you eat so much shit you can't point to anything. That's probably why. Okay, so that answers that question. If you don't eat good at all, then yeah, that makes sense. I have stomach pain after I eat and I don't eat good at all. Yeah, got it. I smash my head into a brick wall and it just bruises. It's like, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, first
Matt Damon.
The first Matt Damon of 2025. Let's hear it. But drop in the comments. You could take a good ribbing. You're here on the podcast. Eating clean is subjective. When someone says they eat well, I have it's pretty good. It's usually dog shit. Oh, I eat clean. You're probably not getting in proper nutrition. When someone says they eat bad, it's usually, oh. And people usually lighten it. I don't need, but Derek seems pretty honest. So let's get some information. Og Fafo crew, OG Fafo, OG fuck around find out crew. Do you have good workout routines for folks post heart attack? Well, I'm glad you survived. As if you're medically cleared for exercise, we have yoga classes, we have all these things. I mean, you can't really quantify what's good for someone post heart attack. Does your your cardiologist, did they clear you for exercise? Did they say what restrictions you have? We have yoga, we have chair yoga. You can modify anything we do, but we don't have don't do scorched earth. Don't do the scorched earth program. That wouldn't be a good place to start out with. So it really comes down to what you're cleared to do, medically cleared. Adam Gondre, Papa Swole, I was talking about creatine the other day and had the question of a loading phase that came up. I missed that for myself and haven't had a problem. Is it necessary? No, it's not. Loading is, is it just, we've talked a lot about loading recently. Is that going around? Loading is so unnecessary. That's been known for 20 years. Creatine is one of the most studied products. Creatine's great. I take it every day. I recommend it to everyone. Creatine's fantastic. The loading used to be take 20 grams a day for 7 days. Your body will top off creatine. You don't need to load at all. It's a waste of money. You're just pissing it out or whatever. So if you didn't load creatine, you're good to go. I just take not 5 milligrams, 5 grams. I know you meant 5 grams. Just clarifying. Yeah, loading's bullshit. Any suggestions for bulking from E. Ellsworth? 20? Don't bulk. Build muscle. How about that? 2025 is also the year of building muscle, not bulking. So don't bulk anymore. No more bulking. No more bulking. Cutting is now maintaining or building muscle and trimming down fat. Bulking is now building muscle. Building muscle. I want to put on muscle and I don't want to be a fat fuck. It's a year of, so don't worry about bulking. You want to be progressively overloading and you want to be fueling yourself properly for that performance. And if you're able to progressively overload, you're going to build muscle, and you can build muscle in around a maintenance or a slight surplus or sometimes a slight deficit if you have higher body fat levels. You just want to make sure your progressive overload is increasing and you'll be building muscle. So if your sets and reps your reps and weight are going up, one or the other. Progressive overload. The year of the progressive overload. Dominican Grinch. Can't steal these gains. All right, we're about to wrap up. So last chance questions. What do I think about fasting? In terms of what? If you're trying to maximize building muscle, fasting is not something you're probably going to want to pay too much attention to. Maybe if you have a lot of body fat to lose, you might want to do, look, the reason why people with a lot of body fat, I lost all this weight by fasting. It's like, yeah, you lost weight because you stopped stuffing your fat fucking face. Yeah, I stopped eating and I lost weight. Yeah. Yeah, we've known that for a long time. We've known that from a long time, Holocaust survivors have left the chat. So we know you don't eat, you're going to lose weight, but you're going to lose fat and muscle and bone density and all those things. So fasting or doing a time restricted eating window, eating for 5 hours a day instead of stuffing your fat face for 16 hours a day, sure, you're going to lose weight. So people that play the calorie balance, but I prefer approaching it from a nutrient density standpoint. I don't really care that much about calories in the sense that that'll figure itself out. And when I say, what I mean by that is if your problem is overconsumption, you're not eating nutrient dense food. You have terrible habits. You have chronic inflammation. You don't have good satiety mechanisms and feedback because you eat poisonous garbage. Your hormones are all out of whack because you have all these endocrine disruptors that are fucking you up and sending your body different cellular signals. So you don't know your ass from your elbow. You're fucking your eyes full of blue light. You're on your phone all night and you can't fall asleep. So your sleep sucks and your cortisol's through the roof and there's plastics everywhere. And, starting with the quality of your lifestyle and your habits and toxic people and stress, that's going to help you not overeat. So forget, like how much can I eat? Look, I eat as much as I want. And the only reason why I've gained weight and put on some fat since I've been lifting, I haven't been caring about being lean. So I've put on some, body fat percentage, and I'm okay with that, for now, trimming down a little bit, but it was great for the kind of stress I was putting on my body at the time. And unless you're micromanaging and hyper obsessed with it, it's, certain things here and there don't matter. If you're competing on a stage and you need to be X amount % so you can win a competition, that's different. So you have to solve the most impactful, you have to solve the problems that's going to lead to the most progress. And if you're focusing on the fundamentals, if you're focusing on the quality, not the quantity solves itself. It doesn't mean that quantity isn't a factor, but these people that will fast and still eat garbage, yeah, they might lose body fat, but they're going to lose muscle mass too. And they're also going to they're going to have less nutrients because now they're eating less garbage. They're getting less nutrients that they were even already getting. So you want to be satisfied on a nutrient level. Electrolytes are so important. Anyways, that was long-winded, but the fasting is kind of like the least interesting thing. You can eat to your satisfaction. Like sit down with just steak, not all this extra rice and all this other stuff. Just eat that meat until you'll be so full before you ever hit your caloric limit. And most of the time people overeat because they add too much variety to their nutrition. They're eating so many random things and different flavors and salt and sweet and this and that and processed this, that, and the other. So they just go from one compulsion and texture to another. And that hyper novelty is hard for the body to shut down, which is why you crave certain, you're used to eating sweet after food and candy. And then you want that and you get more calories. And, if you're eating more consistently, you don't have that hyper novelty. You just get full and you can eat to your satisfaction. And if you're lifting weights, guess what those nutrients are going to go towards? Rebuilding muscle tissue and repairing your body and handling your body processes and managing all those things. You're sending this food to a good place, right? Bone density, muscle tissue. Having muscle is going to help you with all-cause mortality and diseases, and muscle is so important to have. Bone density is so important to have. All right, we are going to wrap up. Thanks for being here. Remember, click the links in my bio if you're watching on Instagram. We'll be back tomorrow. Make sure you follow the podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcast, The Daily Swole, links to join the Swole fam, 7-day free trial, everything, merch, Swoleverine, and so much more. Click the link in my bio on Instagram, and all that information is there. Thanks for being here, Beach. We'll see you next time. And for those of you watching on Rumble and YouTube, let's give away today's Swole card. Here we go, Falcon. Happy Swole year. Year of sick fucking gains, indeed. God damn it, indeed. Oh, today's winner. Well, wouldn't you know it? This one is going to Chirac Marquise. Congratulations.
Congratulations!
Hey now, hey now. Hey now, hey now. Mark, 2025, the year of sick fucking gains. Send us an email to support@swolenormous.com. Swole card 3162 in the subject. Your mailing address in the body of the email. And I know some of these clowns like Mark start spamming the chat towards the end, but I always scroll up. I scroll up a little bit. The last ones that people are dropping, I don't want that to be the first ones that we land on. So I guess Mark's been spamming the chat for the entire show, apparently. Totally rigged without milk. Well, careful with that dairy, fam. Thanks for being here, Beaches. Appreciate you. And we'll see you tomorrow for the next episode. And yeah, don't drink old colostrum. That's some recommended advice. So if you needed unsolicited, unnecessary advice, do not drink expired colostrum. Maybe tomorrow we'll go over we'll have a story. Maybe we'll have story time tomorrow. How about that? How about that? Won't you like that? All right. Yeah, facts. No balls deep tonight. No, we're good. We're good, fam. Thanks for being here. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace, McGee's, Deuce, Magoose, your boy, Papa Swole. Out.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock crashing. Like an IPO, trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now they can't left and they so mad, it's like
then yeah, I found that young king with my crown at 10 racks in the fanny pack, couple hundred in the Louis bag.
that's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you laid. That's a bed that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint, chill. What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing? Ay, yeah, whoa, my shit is relevant. On topic, my melon.